Has it happened to you that you see a mantra and you try it out, and even though the person swears by it, it just doesn't work for yourself? This is because we all resonate at different things. Uh, Sometimes different words have different meaning for each one of us and different vibrations according to our lives, how we've expressed ourselves through it. And even though someone might swear by it, it's because they have their own frequency, their own life. And when we do it, it's different. So this is a guide to how to make tailored intentions, mantras, and manifestations to our own necessities, and how to check if we resonate truly or not. My name is Aileen, Mexican Bruja. Welcome, and let's dive right in. We're gonna go through the check of the 3Ps, as I call it. We're gonna check for the visualization, how to make it happen, and third, for the most powerful thing, we're gonna check with spirit. So first of all, we have the 3Ps. The 3Ps for manifestation: present, personal, and positive. So they always have to be in present tense. Sometimes for other people it works to just say it in the future because they are already feeling differently. But when we're first starting with doing mantras and manifestations and intentions, it is best to just embody it right now. So it's not like, I want to have a car, it's I have a car. I want to change my career, I changed my career. So everything has to be in present tense. It cannot be in a future fashion, because then you're telling your body, then you're telling your mind, then you're telling the universe that is a long way along the road. Even for ourselves, when we say we want something and we visualize it in a future, it's like we're already claiming that we don't have it or that we don't deserve it. So in order to counter that, make sure that everything that you manifest or make intention or make a mantra is in present tense. 2, it has to be positive. So that means no negatives, or not saying never. So for example, if you're manifesting good health, you cannot say, I don't have a headache. That's not going to work, because the universe doesn't listen for the negatives. So in this case, the universe might think like you're asking for a headache. I have a headache. So the way to counter this is just to make everything in a positive fashion. In this health example, you would say, I feel well, I am in perfect health, my body is working correctly, any of these things that just work in the positive sense of the word. And it has to be personal. This means that you cannot make an intention for somebody else. It always has to be for ourselves. So it cannot be like, I wish my boss gives me a raise. It's like, I have a raise, everything has to be with I. And in spell work, for example, you could make an intention for somebody else, but just in the case that they already accepted, like they asked you to do it and then you accept and you do the spell work for them. But when you're working for yourself, it's always for one. So if your mantra or manifestation or intention or spell chanting has already a 3Ps check, then we move to the next part. One of the reasons that your manifestation is not working is because you're not visualizing it correctly. And here is one crucial example. You might be only imagining things happening, but you're not really believing them. And this is the most important part for any manifestation. You have to believe it, you have to embody it already. So whenever you're doing a manifestation or any of this intentional work, you have to feel it. This is the most important part. From now on, I want you to ask yourself, what is the emotion? Let's say whatever intention, I manifested my soulmate. So what is the feeling? What is the emotion? Just feel that you're already with them. Feel the excitement, feel your heart beating a little bit faster, feel the love rising through you. All of these things, you have to hold on to them for at least 17 seconds, because this is how long it takes to the mind to believe it, to bring it into reality. And if you believe it, if you embody it, then it is going to come true. This is the most important, or one of the most important steps for the mantras. Actually, the most important is the spirit check, which we're gonna go into right in a second. But for the visualization, it's not enough for just watching it happen. Like if we're in like, yeah, I'm seeing, I won a contest, I have a raise, it's not gonna work. You really have to feel into it and go into as much detail as you want to, because that's just gonna help the emotion come more clear. So if you have to stay more time meditating and visualizing this in order for this to happen, then that's what you need to do at least the first times. It always comes up with practice a little bit easier and easier each time, but just feel it, believe it. And here's the thing, if you're not able to feel it, there's two things that can happen. One, you might have a blockage, like conditioning, a karma, or something that is not allowing your soul to reach that frequency yet. Something inside of you is not believing it. And then this is the time where you want to go and do like spirit work. You can go and do shadow work by yourself. You can go and get, I for myself find that Akashic records reading is one of the most powerful tools in order to unblock all of these things that they're not deserving, and to activate the protocols of abundance into ourselves, for example. I love doing Akashic readings. If you want one, check out my link in the description. I give actually these therapies and I've seen them work. Like I have this guy, he was super in touch with his intuition after the Akashic records because it was finally unblocked. He had this misalignment of the feminine and the divine masculine, and now that he accepted and surrendered to this part of the divine feminine, we removed some of the blockages. He's able to follow the intuition so much easier. And then for example, if he was in this hypothetical visualization unable, after the Akashic records, he would be able to actually feel it and embody it, because now it is cleansed, the energy is all aligned, and now he's vibrating in the same frequency of the universe to receive whatever blessings he wants. So that's one of the possibilities. And the other one could be that it is not for you, or it is not the moment. Sometimes this, and this is linked to the spirit block, the spirit check. Sometimes it's just not the time. Maybe it is for you in this lifetime, but it's not right now. So this is why you're not able to be feeling it, because you need to do something first in the material world in order for it to actually work out later. And this brings me to the third part, the spirit check. Sometimes we work with the ego. The ego is just handling ourselves and is telling us how to do things. And he's telling us like, hey, you want a new car. When in reality, that is just a numbing agent and you don't really want a car. That would be just like a distraction from whatever it is that your spirit is actually craving, whatever your soul is actually needing. And for this spirit check, I just like to do, there's several tools. You could actually like do tarot, you could do an oracle reading, you can do meditation. One of my favorite ones is meditation, just literally going into myself and asking for guidance, asking what is what my heart really wants. And just sit by yourself and ask. You can ask your guides, you can ask your higher self, you can ask heart, show me what I really want. And that is the most powerful way to make an intention work. When it comes from the heart and it doesn't come from the ego or the mind, then we're actually in tune with the universe. And actually the blessings that we're asking for are the ones that we're ready to receive, are the ones that we set ourselves for in this lifetime to receive. And this is where the magic actually happens, because this is when it's something that the heart wants. So we're actually going to be vibrating in this. We're going to be in this frequency, and it's going to be so much easier to visualize. And once that we already have checked the 3 P's, that is only going to help us more in order to achieve whatever intention we want to make. So now you know, next time that you're doing any intention work, this works for mantras, this works for manifestation, this works for a spell, and feel free to change it. Like if you research a spell on the internet and it has like a chant or something, and you notice that it doesn't have one of the 3 P's, then 100% you should change it and put it into the right vibration. And if there is a word that is not resonating with you, really feel free to change it, because that is the most important part, that we ourselves are in tune with the same message. So if there's this mantra that I remember that everyone was using and it just didn't resonate with me, and it was like, I am perfect health, and it goes with a 3 P check. It totally goes with a 3 P check. It is personal and it is positive. But to me, the word perfect wasn't resonating. The word perfect wasn't working for myself, because I somehow in my conditionings was placing with something unachievable, something that wasn't going to happen. So that made it hard for me to resonate with that word. That made a visualization harder. So I wasn't able to vibrate on that same frequency. So to me, it was more like going to each one of my, I don't remember exactly, but it was something along the lines of each one of my cells to the last atom is working in harmony. It's working in harmony with my body. So that way I removed the word perfect that was messing a little bit with my head, and I was actually able to feel it. Like when I say it that way, even right now, I can feel all of my cells. I can feel everything in my body just working in harmony. So for me, harmony was the word that was working, and perfect was the word that I had to let go. And even though in theory, and when you look at it, it doesn't actually have something bad, if it just doesn't work for you, it just doesn't work for you. And it's okay. So you just change it for the one that actually works. Now that you have your intentions, you're perfectly welcome to go ahead and just do any spell casting. I have actually video on how to do fail-proof candle magic, setting all of the steps, the basics, the troubleshooting, how to clear your space. Check it out, it's right here. Stay tuned, because next time we're gonna see how to make your own spell book and your grimoire, so make sure to subscribe and be one of the first persons to know how to do your own grimoire, what is the difference with a book of shadows, and how to make it happen. So subscribe, check this candle magic video, or check this video that you two think is the best for yourself.